X-Men!
Alright, it is time to talk about the new psychic support for mutants. And, you know, I guess other archetypes that can use psychics too, but, I mean, come on. This is a mutant channel. You gotta talk about mutant, right? So I put this off for quite a while. I've been kind of sick, but I think I've already played the deck for quite a while now. In some events here and there in the OCG. So I kind of got some idea how the new cards work, and I can say that they're pretty good. I mean, it definitely does help a lot. I think it actually might bring Mutant even into the Rogue tier. Well, I don't know. I don't know about that, but we'll see. Beating meta is still pretty difficult. I have been subject to many a loss against VS, especially, is quite difficult with this deck, but I've been brainstorming about different ways to fight against it, but some successful, some not so much. But it definitely gives you some unique tools in the metagame, I think, that I don't really see any other decks use that much. So anyway, let's go over it. So I guess I'll talk about the new cards first, since maybe a lot of you guys aren't familiar. This is the Mental Procedure. So this guy is level 3 Psychic. He will give you a teleport card from your deck or graveyard when you normal or special him from a monster effect. And you have to pay 2,000 life points to do that as a cost. So that means if you summon this with emergency teleport itself, it doesn't trigger, so be careful about that. And he has another effect. When he is banished, you can pay 1,000 life points to special summon him. But you can only use one of these effects, so you can't, you know, banish him from your hand with a mutant effect and then special summon him and get the teleport card at the same time. That won't work. But you can do an effect. You can do a play like, you know, summon like one of the mutant cards, then banish this for cost, summon Beast, and you can special this from your hand. But you don't get the teleport card that way. But this is going to be one of your main starters, so of course you're going to want 3 of those. And over here we have Psycho Girl, Serene Psychic Girl, I think they'll call it in the TCG, in the English version. So her effect, she has 2 effects. She's a level 2 Psychic, and what she does, when you summon or special summon her, normal or special, you banish a card from your hand, you can special summon a level 4 or lower Psychic from your deck. And that is not a cost, that's part of the effect, so if her effect gets ashed, then you don't lose the card from hand. And her other effect is you can target monsters actually. You target monsters you control up to the amount of psychic monsters you control, and you can raise their level by 1. So basically, if you control 3 psychic monsters, you can target 3 monsters on the field and increase all their levels by 1. Even your opponent's cards if you wanted to do that. So that helps a lot with the synchro plays. So she's also another starter. You got 3 of her. We got Prototype Gunner. He's also another nice extender for the deck, level 6 Psychic. You discard him from your hand as cost to special summon a level 4 lower Psychic from your hand or banish pile. He has the additional effect to banish a Psychic monster from your graveyard to special summon himself from the graveyard at the cost of 1,000 life points. Also very handy. And the last of our new monsters we have in the deck is the Minister. Psychic Minister. He is a level 3 that can special summon himself from your hand in defense position if you control a psychic monster. So another good extender. He has the other additional effect to banish himself and another psychic monster from the graveyard to banish another monster, I think a face-up monster, on the field until the end phase. And that effect is sometimes useful for breaking boards going second, but it actually also helps extend some plays by using it on your own guys just to banish specific monsters that you want banished from your graveyard. And other than that, we also have our standard mutant cards. So, since this deck plays a lot more like a modern deck than before, I think you can get away with just playing mutant as more just like combo pieces. So you don't have to play so many mutant cards, I think, anymore, because you really want to see Mental Procedure or Psychic Girl or Emergency Teleport. Those are the 3 cards you want to see. Those are going to get you into your main line, and those get you into your mutants anyway. So you still want to play, I think, in my opinion, 3 M-05 because I think it's like the best one, and it also kind of helps because it kind of sets up some plays if you have more of these in your hand to banish. And I think just the one ST is enough. I just kind of use it as a combo piece, and just the one Mutant. That's also it's just a combo piece, so you don't have to stock up on a lot of these. I think it saves up space in the deck for more hand traps, which I think you'll desperately need in this format. And we also got 2 Beast. Just 2 Beast. He's the best one. I think that's all you need, in my opinion. I guess if you guys don't know the mutant cards, I'll just go over them real quick. Basically, they have effects when you normal or special this one. He can search for a mutant monster. ST's the same thing, but he searches for a spell or trap mutant card. And they can both banish cards from your hand or field to special summon from your deck. A mutant monster that's level 8 in correspondence to the card that you banished. You banished a monster, you summon Beast, which is what you're going to do with this deck. You banish a trap, you summon Arsenal, you banish a spell, you summon Mist, but we don't play either of those because I'm trying to make the deck really consistent, really nice and tight, and just making it just have more space for non-engine, which I think is imperative now. But I think this is all you need. Just these guys are good enough for your mutant lineup. And funny enough, I think for this new support, you're not even using their effects to bring out Beast most of the time. You're using them as synchro material because they have really good levels to make synchro plays, which I think is actually better use for these cards. It's really only Mutant that you're using to summon Beast. And I'll show you those combo lines in a bit, how I think the best way to play it is. And like I said, we got hand traps, we got Maxx C, gotta play Maxx C, 2 of those. You got your Ash Blossoms to stop your Maxx C and your Mulch Armies, you gotta play 3 of those. Shifter still works really well in this deck. I think it puts this deck in a really good position. We can use our banish pile just as easily as our graveyard with this deck, so a lot of the time, Shifter doesn't affect us that much. And even if it does, it's usually just, a tiny bit. There's a few plays that it kind of locks you out of here and there because you do want to banish some of your psychic monsters for effects, like Prototype Gunner, for example. But sometimes you can even play Shifter and you can just play around your own effects. Like you can play Prototype Gunner, for example. If you forgot what I'm talking about. If you can play a Prototype Gunner, for example, to special a mutant card from your hand. And then you search for Mutant, and then you special Mutant, you banish him, you tribute him to summon Beast from your deck, and then you have Gunner and Mutant in the graveyard. You just banish your Mutant from the graveyard to summon Gunner. Oh, now your graveyard is empty, and then you just Shifter after that. Then you just Shifter now. So it's kind of funny. You can kind of make some interesting plays that way by even playing Shifter and still getting all your full benefits anyway. I'm also playing Snow Rabbit. I'm actually trying 3 of these right now, mostly because it is a Psychic Tuner, which I just really want more of in the deck. I have ways to special mutant cards from hand every now and then, and I just needed a tuner more often than not. So sometimes it's nice just to have the M-05 that you can special, and then you normal the Ghost Rabbit, and then you make a synchro play that way. So I think those are pretty good. And they're also a pretty good hand trap. They're not the best right now, but that's what I'm trying out. The numbers, may vary. And we'll see what that's going to be like in the future. I'm just experimenting because no one else is trying this deck but me, as far as I know. I've never seen anyone even play the Psychic cards, let alone Mutant Psychic. I think I saw maybe one guy playing with P.U.N.K, and that was one day or something. But almost everyone is playing VS. It's all VS as far as I can see. As far as the eye can see is K9 VS, K9 VS. Almost every match. If it's not that, it's usually Yummy. So it's 1 or 2 decks a lot of the time. And for spell cards, we got the Mutant Fusion. This card's really good, I think, in this lineup because you can make Synthesis. You can banish a card from your deck. And you can sometimes summon it straight from your banish pile, which is pretty cool. And Synthesis is a 9, and Psycho Girl is a 2, so that's another easy Punisher line, because she's a 2. I've done that a few times. If you don't know what Fusion does, basically if your opponent played a card effect this turn, so it's going to be active most of the time, you can banish from your deck, graveyard, or hand or field to special summon a Mutant Fusion monster. If they haven't played an effect this turn, you can only use your hand and field like a regular polymerization. We got the E-Telly. Unfortunately, only 2 E-Tellys still in the OCG. Master Duel gives me a lot of hope that they're going to unban this card, unlimit this card rather, and we're going to get our 3rd copy, which would be great. This card does everything in this deck. It's a really good starter. Not once per turn still, which is probably why they limited it in the first place, but what are you going to do? We got Cross Out to stop my opponent's hand traps, also very important. We also got Called by the Grave, same reason, stop my opponent's hand traps. We got the 1 Mutant Cry. This is basically just a combo piece. You don't really want this in your opening hand. You just search for it when you play your regular combo line. This is your fusion card that you can play on your opponent's turn. 3 Imperms, again, it's just more hand traps. And I'm actually playing 3 Macro Cosmos. This card has been really good lately, I feel like, because it just interferes with a lot of decks I'm seeing, like Dragon Tail and the Yummies, and Sky Striker also. I'm seeing a lot of Sky Striker. So those are the main decks I'm seeing that really struggle to deal with this card. So I'm playing that in the main deck, and it's been going pretty good, I think. The only thing is that for VS, which is my most hardest matchup right now, it doesn't really do a whole lot against them, but it kind of misses the Canine line a little bit, because they want to throw a Lupus from their deck to the graveyard to XC summon on your turn. That's basically how that deck works. So that kind of stops them from some of their plays, but it's pretty marginal against that deck. But it seems to be more annoying for my opponent than me, so I play it. And we got the extra. I've been messing around with the extra deck. I don't know what the ratios would be for this, but basically we only have the 1-1 right now. I've been missing the 2nd Synthesis though. I might want to bump that up to 2. I'm just experimenting with about a bunch of different cards right now. But essentially, 1-1 is all you need really. But 2 Synthesis, I might bump that up, because I've had games where I really could have used the 2nd one. Even with only 1 Cry and 1 Mutant Fusion. I've actually played them both, and then I wanted to I played the Mutant Fusion first, and then I wanted to play the Cry to get another Synthesis, and I couldn't do it, and that did cost me once. This is a new guy, another new Fusion, Axon Kicker, which is summoned by a new spell card in this deck, which is this one, Teleport Fusion. Teleport Fusion is a quick play spell. You banish synchro monsters that you control or in your graveyard to special summon a fusion synchro monster. That's basically how this card works. If an extra deck's psychic monster is destroyed by your opponent, you can also banish this card from your graveyard, and you can special summon I believe it's a banished psychic monster. So that's how that works. So basically you set up your synchros, you get them in the graveyard, you set up your Teleport Fusion, you can summon this guy on your opponent's turn, and what this guy does when he comes out, when he's fusion summoned, he can pay 2,000 life and banish all face-up cards your opponents control. That's pretty good, pretty nice. He also has the bonus effect of banishing himself from your graveyard, except the turn that he was sent there, to fusion summon a level 10 synchro, a level 10 fusion psychic monster. There we go, that's what it was. And funny enough, we have a target in our deck, which is Ultimas, so he can actually just straight up summon Ultimas, which is pretty funny, which I have done before, funny enough. And we got the new synchros, really good in this deck. We got the Silent Psycho Magician. He's a level 5 tuner, so that's why a lot of these things add up really well with M-05 being a 2, because we got a lot of 3s, a lot of synchro tuner 3s. So 3, 2, make this guy. And what this guy does is he is also a tuner himself, and he can special summon a psychic monster from your banished or graveyard that is level 4 or lower. That will lock you into psychic monsters from your extra deck only, so perfect for this deck. We mostly only play psychic monsters. And he also has the extra ability, when he summons a guy, he can increase his level by 1 if you want. And he also has another ability that he can be used as a non-tuner if you're making a psychic synchro monster, I believe is what it was. And we got 2 of those. We've got Cross Demon. Thought Cross Demon. I forgot what it's called. It's probably going to be called Archfiend or something in English, I guess. Basically what this guy is for, he can special summon a banished psychic monster. I believe that is level 7 or lower. That's a quick effect on the main phase, so that helps you with some extenders, some extension plays. Really easy to make an 11 with this guy, because you just banish a level 3 tuner, and then you just summon it back out with this guy, and then you have an 11. So this guy plus the tuner that you resummon is an 11. And this guy can, I believe, tribute a monster in the battle phase that you control to increase his own attack by that much, and he also increases your life by the same amount. I believe that is a original attack. Yes, original attack. We got MK2, the Blaster, Psychic Blaster. Also a similar effect to the demon here. He can special summon a banished monster to your field. He actually has no restriction, which is pretty crazy. He can just special summon a banished monster. Can be your side, can be your opponent's side. Doesn't have to be a psychic. Your opponent can use, I guess, Blazar and Dissipator, and you can just, take it to your side, which is pretty funny. That's main effect only, the main phase only though. You can't do that as a chain or anything, as a quick effect. This quick effect is to banish a monster from your graveyard, to target a monster on the field, and banish it, and you gain that much life as the original attack. So another interruption as a level 9. Pretty cool. Psychic M Punisher, the main focus of this deck still. As you can see, we're still using the Psychic M Punisher sleeves. And the main finisher of this deck, because you're going to naturally be paying a lot of life, you're going to have low life, you're going to have a Psychic M Punisher. He's big, he's unaffected, big punch. That's the basic idea. We have Jura as the other level 11. Also really convenient. He can give you some life back, and if your opponent resolves a card effect, you gain 300 life, so you can get some life back that way. And he also has additional effect to tribute himself on your opponent's turn. I think main phase only, I believe. Yes, main phase only. And you can destroy all face-up monsters or spells or traps your opponent controls. So you have to pick one, monsters or spells or traps. And you pay 1500 life to do that. So the combo here is you use this guy and this guy as combination. So you use Jura, blow up their back row, blow up their monsters. Then he's in the graveyard, you use Teleport Fusion, you banish the Jura, you make the Axon kicker, then you banish everything else that remains. So you use Jura as the cost after you use this effect. Pretty convenient. Omega, I think we know what Omega does, right? Level 8, synchro, he can banish himself until the next standby phase, until your next standby phase, is what it says? I believe so. And he can banish a card randomly from your opponent's hand. Pretty cool combo this deck has is with MK. Basically, you get both of these guys on the board, you banish a card from your opponent's hand, you bring Omega back with MK2, then you use his effect, you banish another card from their hand, because it's not once per turn. It's not a hard once. So you can kind of rip some cards from their hand, and that's kind of been the best play I found how to be Vanquish Soul at the moment, because if I can, snipe some of their key monsters from their hand, sometimes they just have to pass, and that's pretty much been the only way I've managed to beat Vanquish Soul in this meta. It's a really hard deck to stop. We also got some P.U.N.K cards in here. We got the Jam Session. When this thing is synchro summoned, you can pay 600, search for a level 3 psychic monster. That's usually going to be your Minister. And we also have a little SP Little Knight, just for those times when things don't go our way. Just have Little Knight to fall back on. Fever is made by just throwing it on top of the Jam Session. Gives you another negate. What this card does, if you're a Master Duel, you probably already know. You can just synchro XC summon this card using a, what does it say? Extra deck P.U.N.K monster you control, I believe. So you just throw it on top of Jam Session, basically. And it has the effect, remove the material if you have a level 3 or lower psychic monster, not lower, level 3 only, level 3 psychic monster in your graveyard. You can activate the effect, detach the material, negate and destroy a monster effect. And luckily it doesn't say P.U.N.K card, so all of our new psychic cards count. Procedure, mental procedure. Myutant ST also counts, funny enough, so as long as you have those in the graveyard, you can use this. We got the Garunix. I just kind of like having him in here. I might cut this guy. He's kind of like another backup plan, just because I like the play of using M-05. And then M-05 gets the Mutant from the deck. And then I can make 2 8s. I just basically make 2 Mutant Beasts. Then you XCs this guy, and he destroys all monsters on the field. So it's kind of like another plan B kind of strategy. And he also has the additional effect to detach a material, target a spell or trap, destroy it. He goes up by 500 attack. If he's destroyed when he has XC's material, he can also bring himself back from the graveyard. That's what he's for. And he's also here to help with the Zeus. So basically I have a lot of board wipes, right? I have like Jura, clear the board. Axon Kicker, clear the board. Garunix, clear the board. Attack, Zeus, clear the board. So I just keep trying to clear the board over and over again. That's kind of the idea. Or having a lot of different paths to do it, because a lot of games will be like, I try to do one path and they'll hand trap or they, interrupt me and I can't go that path, so I kind of switch to another board wipe instead. So that's kind of the idea. That's the dream anyway. So that's the deck. That's what it looks like. And in here we have a new fancy deck box that I got from Konami. This is what I can get for playing in local events and basically buying packs and stuff in Japan. You can use their Neuron app to get points. Trade in the points, you can get some stuff. This is what I bought. I bought like a deck box. Has like a little thing on the back. You can put any cards you want in here in the back. I'll show you what the inside looks like. It's like kind of a soft velvet kind of thing. Put your cards in here. This is where my side deck is right now. The side deck. How this works, they got like a little slot here. They got like a little case. You can put any card you want in here. Got the little eye on the Anubis on there. And you just kind of slide this in here, the bottom. On the back of the deck box, you can see the card. Pretty cool. So let's look at the side deck, which I kind of need help on. Not too good at this yet. So basically we got the 3 Lancia. This is Stop Malice, although I haven't seen Malice in a hot minute. I feel like everyone just dropped Malice to play Vanquish Soul is what it feels like to me. It's either Vanquish Soul or Sky Striker, actually. It's usually one of the two, just in my experience. It just could be my area. Those are really popular. And of course, they're the new decks, so of course everyone wants to play them right now. In locals, and they're in the events and everything. We got another G. We got the Contact G. Was this Contact? Or Retaliating? I forget which one it is in English. But basically, this is the one where if you special summon a monster with a spell card, you can special summon this from your hand. And then it's basically a macrocosmos when it's on the field. Everything that goes to the graveyard is banished instead. This is just a hard counter to Dragon Tail, or Draco Tail, is that what you call it now in English? Because a lot of their effects will trigger when they fusion summon, and if you banish them, they don't go to the graveyard, so they don't trigger. So that's what this is for, but to be honest, I haven't seen a lot of Dragon Tail lately, or Malice, so I almost want to just try to hard counter, just hard side for especially Sky Striker and Vanquish Soul, if I could think of more cards that could stop them. Oh yeah, I got the Mulcharmies in here. This is also what you would play instead of Macrocosmos. I think this is also pretty fair. Draw cards, when they summon from the extra deck or from the deck. We got Evenly Matched, just more generic going second cards. This is my Vanquish Soul counter. I'm trying to stop them from having Vanquish Souls on the board. This doesn't target, so luckily all their guys will usually be flipped down. Even if they chain all their effects and they come out, they're still flipped face down. So that's the idea. Side deck probably still needs work. I'm still learning myself the best way to play the side deck in general, so good luck to me. So I guess that's the first part. I guess next I'll try to set up the basic combo line of what the deck looks like. Alright, so let's talk about the main combo line that I like to do in this Mutant deck, Mutant Psychic Support deck. Yeah. So anyway, you want these in your opening hand. These are your 3 best cards, your 3 best starters. Any of these 3 will do the job. You also want to have 1 extra card in your hand to banish for Psycho Girl's effect. So basically it's a 1.5 card combo, which is what you want to see in a modern deck nowadays, right? A 1 card combo, basically. So how it works, typically, let's say we have the girl in our opening hand. We play the girl, normal or special. she will banish a card from your hand. For example, banish the whatever monster. Usually it's good that if you have a psychic monster to banish that, because it might come up later. And you can summon a psychic monster from your deck that is level 4 or lower, and will lock you into psychics from your extra. So you'll want to summon your Mental Procedure. You're going to pay 2,000. Going to get your Emergency Teleport. Play your Emergency Teleport. Going to summon Myutant M-05 from your deck. M-05 is going to activate and going to get Mutant. Since you control a mutant, you can special summon Mutant from your hand. Not so much space here. Can I move this? Yeah, okay. There we go. So this is basically what the main setup of your board will look like, some combination of this. Next, you're going to want to use Mutant's effect. He will tribute himself, and he will banish a mutant card from your deck. So you will want to banish your Myutant ST, the one of. And you will summon the Beast from your deck. And you will take another 2,400 damage, equal to his attack points. After that, you will synchro, using 3 and a 2. Synchro the Magician as a 5. Magician's effect activates. You will target the ST that you banished. And you're going to summon that. ST will trigger. It will get you Mutants. Actually, over here. Whoops, excuse me. Myutant Cry. So now you have your fusion set up. So after that, you will activate Psycho Girl's effect. Psycho Girl can target your monsters and increase their level by 1. So I have 3 psychic monsters. I can target 3 monsters I control, increase their level by 1. So you want to target your ST and your girl. When Silent Magician summoned ST, it can increase its level by 1. So now, if this is 4, and this is 2, 4, 5, 6, one more, 7, 8. So you should equal up to 8. So it'll be a 5 and a 3. So that actually equals 8. Funny enough. So synchro again to a 8. You're gonna get the, what is it? P.U.N.K. Jam Session. Jam Session will activate, pay another 600, and you're gonna get another level 3 psychic from your deck. You get the Minister. Add it to your hand. Since you control a psychic monster, you can just special summon it. So now we have a 5 and a 3. Synchro again. Can make another 8. Make the Cross Demon. I also forgot, you can also throw your Fever on top of your Jam Session to go ahead and negate monster effects. So next, you're going to use the graveyard effect of your Minister. So if we already had this banished, we don't have to do this, but if you didn't have that specific card banished, you could use Minister's effect. Banish itself, and you can actually banish anything in the graveyard, any psychic monster. So you want to pick your level 3 tuner, banish that, and we're going to target our own beast, banish beast until the end phase. But we're doing this just to banish the tuner, because we will use Cross Demon's effect to summon back the tuner. And from here, you can synchro into a 11. So that's how you get to your 11. Depending on what you're fighting against or what your preference is, you can summon Jura. Jura can clear the board or you can gain life. I always like going for Punisher myself, just because I find a lot of people have a hard time outing it. And you will be at 3,000 life points. So it's pretty difficult for them to deal with all these interruptions and a Punisher that's going to be over 8,000. That's unaffected by everything. And it's pretty hard for them to get lower life than you without like a huge commitment, right? So that's mainly the idea. So this is kind of what the board might look like. And the end phase, your beast will come back. So that was from one card. That's your one card starter. So you have an unaffected Punisher that's going to be over 8,000. You actually have a monster negate here, a spell negate here, and another synthesis here. So how this works, if you don't know, you use your beast, banishes itself to negate and banish a spell card, which is pretty strong. And he also can't be targeted by monster effects your opponent controls, which is pretty handy. And then after you banish him, you use the spell negate, and then you can activate the Mutant Cry. You'll shuffle the banished beast and one of your other mutant cards into the deck, and then that will fusion summon your synthesis usually. And synthesis can target and destroy a card, which is just another form of interruption. It's also really hard to negate because synthesis also has the effect that everyone forgets about, where it can be immune to the effects of a certain type of card, monster, spell, or trap, until the end phase as a quick effect. So that's basically the main line of how you can play this deck with Mutant. Alright, next I'll show you another line that you can do that is basically the same as the first line, but if you have M-05 and access to Psycho Girl in your opener, then you can do the same line I just showed you, but you can also do it under Nibiru and be safe from Nibiru. So how that works is you can summon your Psycho Girl, you banish your Mutant M-05 from your hand. This also potentially works with other, depending on the card combinations in your hand, you could also do this same line depending on what you open, but the basic way to do it is if you have M-05, that's the easiest way. And what that will do, you'll summon the Procedure from your deck, and Procedure will get you your emergency teleport. You play the teleport, and teleport is going to get you ST instead this time. So after you summon ST, get the Cry, and then you're going to use the Girl's effect, target both of your monsters here, the 3 and the 3, up by 1, so now it's an 8. Synchro 8, this will go here. And you're going to make the P.U.N.K jam session first. And then after you make the jam session, you're going to pay 600, get the Psycho Minister. Almost over here. The Minister. That's going to go to your hand. And then you're going to Xyz to P.U.N.K Jam Fever. So that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Perfect. Perfect 5. So your 5th summon will be a monster negate in this line. So you're Nibiru proof. So good little nice line to know about. And then basically from here you can do kind of the same thing you did last time. So you're going to use your Minister's effect, special summon it. Now you have a 3 and a 2. You're going to synchro into the Magician. Then the Magician is going to summon your M-05 that you banished before. And this is how you're getting into those plays. And then that's going to get you to your Mutant Mutants. Mutant Mutants going to banish itself, banish another M-05 from deck, make Beast. And you're going to use his effect to increase this by 1. So again, you're going to synchro another 8, because when he summons M-05 back, he can also increase this level by 1. So you're going to make that into an 8, and same thing. Oh, it's Cross Demon again. Cross Demon, use Minister's effect to banish from your graveyard, banish the Mental Procedure, target Beast, banish Beast, Demon brings back the Procedure, and then you got the 11. You synchro that, you can make the 11 of your choice, and then at the end phase, Beast comes back, and you have the same board, same end board as I showed you last time. Spell negate, monster negate, unaffected pop, unaffected towers. There you go. Next, I'll show another combo line that I'm fond of. This is if you have emergency teleport and mental procedure. You may want to use mental procedure to get a second emergency teleport, especially if you think your opponents are trying to bait you into something. But if you're feeling particularly ballsy, you can try to go for this line, which is fun. So you would get the Mental Procedure, you summon that, and you will instead, since you already have the emergency teleport, you get the Teleport Fusion. And from there, you would play the emergency teleport, and you will get Psycho Girl. Play Psycho Girl, you banish another card from your hand, use her effect, and then you're basically in the same combo line. You get the M-05, you get the Mutant Mutants, you get the Mutant Mutants, you banish the ST from deck, attributing that to summon the Beast. Gonna synchro here and here. Gonna make the Silent Magician. And Silent Magician, gonna bring back your ST. ST is gonna go up a level. And you're gonna use ST to get your Mutant Fusion. Then you're gonna use Psycho Girl's effects, using it on these two, again, to make the 8. So you're basically making the same combo line as before, to this point. Make the Jam Session. Jam Session will activate, pay another 600, and get the Minister. And you can slap the Fever on top of him. Then you're going to activate the Minister, summon him. Going to synchro again here. Same idea. Cross Demon. Use the Minister's effect, Engrave. Banish himself. Banish the Procedure. Banish the Beast. Cross Demon. Special the Procedure. And this time we're going to synchro. If I have Teleport Fusion, you want to go for the Jura, which is pretty nice. And end phase, Beast comes back. And you can set your other spells and traps here, your fusion cards. So you have same thing as before, spell negate, monster negate, and you're probably going to be under like 3,000 life. Yeah, 3,000. You're always going to be at 3,000 life. So then you pass on this, and then your opponent starts to play. Typically, your opponent is going to have to make at least, a couple of plays, right? So what you want to do is that you want to have enough life to pay 1,500 for Jura's effect, and you're going to want to have another 2,000 life to play for your Axon Kicker's effect. So you're going to have another, it's not that many, it's like 5, maybe like 3 or 4 effects, which is usually not that difficult to resolve, unless they, out your Jura instantly, which is pretty difficult because you do have a spell and a monster negate to protect it. So typically they will give you enough life back, in my experience, to activate both of the effects. So when they have enough life, or you see a good opportunity for your opponent, activate the Jura. He tributes himself, you lose another 15. Then you can activate the Teleport Fusion. And in your graveyard, you're going to have some choices. You can banish Jura, the Demon, the Silent Magician. So you banish 2 of these of your choice. And that's how you get to the kicker. So after you activate Jura, then you can also activate the kicker. But, I mean, since in this line, if you have the access, you already have Magician and Demon in your graveyard anyway, so you can still access the kicker before Jura if you want. So you kind of have the freedom to do whatever you want there. So you have like a full board wipe, and then you have like another full board wipe after that. All right, next, let's talk about the Prototype Gunner. So if you have access to this card, also in your opening hand, with in conjunction from the other starters, you can do a little bit more. You can go a little bit extra. So this is admittedly the one I'm the least comfortable doing. I'm kind of freestyling this a lot of the time when I'm doing this. I still haven't found like the best way to do this one yet. And there's like a few different options. I feel like there's a lot of different paths you can take here, especially with Psycho Girl's effect to modify levels and the order in which you should synchro summon. It's like, it's a little difficult. I haven't quite figured out the best line and the best math to get the levels the way I want. But, you know, just messing around, just freestyling, this is basically what I would come up with. So you'd use the prototype effect, you'd special the Psycho Go from hand. Sometimes this gets negated, which is really nice in this deck, because you actually have extenders with the Gunner. So if, you know, you activate Gunner, they negate the Gunner, then you just normal it, or you activate Gunner, summon the girl gets negated, you just normal the M-05, is like, oh, I have a 3 and a 5 now to make the Magician. So that's kind of the weak point of this deck, is that there's still too many normal summons, because you either have like Procedure or Girl a lot of the time, if you don't have like Emergency Teleport to get you like another special summon. Which is kind of why it'd be nice to have Minimolian to help summon a mutant card also from our hand, that we don't have to normal that either. So it'll make it make it even easier to extend past all these hand traps. Because, you know, I'm gonna get Dominus Impulse, Dominus Impurge, I'm gonna get Imperm, I'm gonna get Ashed, like it's gonna happen. So it's nice to have like more options. But to be honest, a lot of decks now also have this similar problem where there's like so much non-engine, you just sometimes hand trap their starter and then that's all they have, right? Then you're just playing hand trap wars until one of you gets the pop off. In that way, Mutant can kind of do that now, like the way like most modern decks can. Anyway, I digress. So basically, you can use your Gunner effect to help you extend, and you're going to summon this, summon the girl, or mental procedure is also fine, whoever you got. Banish whatever other guy you got, and then you're just going to basically do full combo that we've been doing the whole time. But there's a little bit extra you can do if you want. So for example, you can do the girl and you can get the procedure. Like I said before, if you want, you can also kind of summon a M-05 from their deck to get the Mutant, and then you can also use the Mutant to summon the Beast instead, if you want to go this path. And then you have a Gunner and a Mutant in your graveyard. You can banish, pay 1,000, summon the Gunner. Your graveyard is empty, so you can Shifter now if you wanted, if you had Shifter available, but you wanted the extra level 6 access. But you can still Gunner under Shifter anyway, you just don't get the extra body. But if you have the way to do that, you can do it this way instead. Just depends on what you have access to. So let's say we did that, we did the, you know, the regular E-Tele, whatever, played that, vanished the ST, right? In this case, we would have the M-05 on the board, right, that we would have E-Tele'd. So you might have a board like this, and you might have access to an extra level 6. So I haven't quite figured out the best timing to use this, but basically you can just do like the same combo you always did, or you can go for a double 11 line, or you can go for the Omega MK2 line, which is also pretty fancy, I guess. So how you do that, you would do again a 3 and a 5, and you can build up kind of a similar board with this. You can summon the ST here. If you want, you can increase this one to +1 to make this a 4. And you can do like another effect here to get the Myutant Cry. You can use the Gunner if you want. You can banish maybe the Tuner. And if you want, you can go 6 and a 5 to make the 11. You can also use the Girl and the Gunner to make an 8. So you can also use Girl's effect. You can increase these two and then use these two to make the 8 if you want to do it that way. So I think you want to do it in a way where probably the best way to do this, I think, I could easily be wrong about this, but it would be increasing this by 1, and then activating Gunner, bringing out Gunner, using a 6, 7, 8, so you just use these two. And you can make the Omega. And then you use Omega's effect, banish a card from hand, to potentially get another interruption out of the way first, and then you can just synchro again to make the 9. Bring back the Omega again, so that's a double hand rep. So you have MK2's effect as an interrupt, banish target on the opponent's board. You have the spell negate here, another monster that can pop a card here, and you hand rip them for 2. So that's another path you could take. Here's another potential combo line that I'm kind of experimenting with, so bear with me here if I don't do this perfectly. But it does work. There is a way to do it. The math, the numbers, we'll check out. Let's see if I can remember. So basically, if you have the prototype gunner as an extender and you have one of your starters, you can do this line. Use the gunner, goes to the grave to summon your starter. And if it's girl, you can banish one of your other cards from hand. Doesn't really matter what it is. And you're going to do the line as normal at the beginning. Get procedure. Get the emergency teleport. Get the M-05. M-05 gets the mutants. Banish tribute itself. Banish the ST. Summon the beast. And here's maybe where you might have to think a little bit about what is the best order to do things. So I believe it's still the correct way to go for 3 and 2. Make the Magician. Magician will get the ST. ST will be increased by 1 level with Magician's effect. Then you can get the Trap, get the Cry from deck. And this is where it gets a little bit tricky. I have to kind of remember what numbers and who's at what now. So, let's see. First, you want to try to get to the 8. So you can use the Gunner's effect to special itself and banish another psychic monster from your graveyard. So your field looks like this. And you're going to use Girl's effect to increase these levels to make them up to 8. And you're going to want to also increase your Magician's level by 1. So it's going to be target, 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 up, up, up. And you're going to use these 2. So this will equal 8. And you're going to do the P.U.N.K first. Jam session. Going to pay the 600. Going to get the Minister to your hand. Going to slap the Fever down on the session. And then you can special the Minister from your hand. And you're going to use this, since now this is increased by 1. This will be a 6, and this is a 3, so that'll be the 9. And you can make the Gunner that way. And now you have access to basically summon anything you want from your graveyard. So what you want to do is use the Minister, banish itself, and banish the target you want to summon with your MK. So for example, in this scenario, we'll banish the Magician. Going to banish the Beast until the end phase. Going to put him over here. And you're going to summon the Silent Magician that you banished up here, back with the MK2 effect. So then you have these 2, and that's how you get the 11. So you synchro here. Gunner will be banished again. And there you go. There's access to your 11 of choice. And then during the end phase, your Beast will also come back. So that's another combo line that you're going to end on. So you're going to end on the 11 of your choice. You have your MK, targeted banish, monster negate, spell negate, monster spell pop. So that's how you could do it with a little bit of extra extension by just having just 1 extra card, which is Prototype Gunner. It looks pretty nice, if I don't say so myself. Alright, that's the gist of it. Hope that wasn't too long. But basically, I think there's a lot of potential with this deck. I know that's kind of a scary word, right? Potential is just another word for bad sometimes, especially in Yu-Gi-Oh, right? Is it going to crush the meta? You're going to win every game? No, I think the meta is still pretty far out of reach. But it can kind of somewhat hang. Like before, you know, it was definitely a lot of cope that you could think that Mutant could ever beat these meta decks. But I think now it's pretty modern feeling. I think it definitely helps a lot. And there's some future for this deck also. I think, you know, third E-Telly, we don't have access to Minimolian yet over here. I think that could also be potential to help extend through more hand traps. And also, I'm just one guy. I feel like there's not a lot of experimenting going on with this deck. And like even the new Psychic cards haven't seen a lot of experimentation yet, in my opinion. So there could be some secret tech out there. You know, just people that are just better than me could probably do a lot better with this deck. But it still does well. I can still go like, you know, 50-50 against meta decks. I still win like half the time playing against insane decks like Ryziel and Matlas and Dragon Tail, Yummies, Sky Strikers. Just Vanquish Soul is just really tough. That's a tough matchup because of the burn damage. And also, it's really hard to hit them with the Punisher because they just tag in and out, so it's really hard to hit anything directly. Which is why I'm thinking, like, in the future, I might experiment on way out there cards. There's an XC's rank 3 Psychic monster that lets you attack directly with, like, Psychic and Punisher. Shoutouts if you know what I'm talking about. He kind of looks like an octopus. I don't know if that sounds kind of cope, but, I mean, there's been a lot of games where like I just needed to hit with Punisher and I would win, but the problem is they just block me by switching their guys to defense when they tag out, and then they just burn me on the following turn. So if I had a guy that could just swing directly, but again, it's going to be hard to get that rank 3 to stick because he has to survive till the battle phase to activate, so we'll see. I think like Droll and Lockbird should probably be another card. I think that's probably strong in this meta. I don't really understand the meta yet myself. But if you guys have any suggestions, you guys see any combo lines that I'm missing? I'm sure I'm missing something with all these different levels and modulations going on. I'm sure there's different optimal math I'm sure someone smarter than me could figure out. Please tell me. I'd like to know. But otherwise, you know, comment, like, subscribe, all that dumb YouTuber stuff I'm supposed to say. And look forward to the future. I hope we can continue evolving together to make this deck the best it can be. And on that note, see you guys next time. Later.